Imagine this. The room is quiet, except for the soft hum of conversation. People are laughing, exchanging stories, introducing themselves. And then it's your turn. You feel the eyes on you. Someone says with a smile, "So, tell us about yourself." I'm so glad you are here with me today. This video is not just another English lesson. It's a journey into learning how to talk about yourself in English in a way that feels confident, natural, and deeply human. By the end of our time together, you'll not only have new words and phrases, but also a story that is truly your own. So as you listen, notice the vocabulary and context. Let it sink in like music. And here's something important. Every time you speak, every time you share, you grow. Persistence is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. So, tell me, where are you watching from right now? And what time is it in your country? Share it in the comments below. I'd love to know. When we talk about ourselves, we're not only using words, we're offering a glimpse of our life, our past, our dreams. It's one of the most powerful ways to connect with others. In English, being able to introduce yourself with warmth and clarity is like opening a door to the world. Today, you will gain 3 things. First, you'll practice listening to natural English storytelling. Second, you'll hear useful vocabulary, words like childhood, challenge, passion, and journey, woven inside the story, never thrown at you like a list. And third, you'll receive a life lesson, something you can carry not only in your language, but in your heart. So, let's begin with a story. I remember meeting a young man once, in a small cafe with yellow walls and the smell of roasted coffee beans filling the air. He was shy, nervous. His hands trembled slightly as he stirred the sugar into his cup. He had recently arrived in a new country, far from home. And when people asked him, "Tell me about yourself," he froze. The words in English felt heavy, stuck somewhere between his heart and his tongue. He whispered, "My name is Daniel. I student." That was all he could manage. His eyes lowered in embarrassment, as though he had failed. But here is the truth. He had not failed at all. He had begun. You see, learning to talk about yourself in English is like climbing a staircase. The first step might be small, shaky, uncertain, but it is still a step upward. And every time you try again, every time you put 1 foot higher, you rise. Daniel wanted to share more. He wanted to say, "I am from Brazil. I grew up in a small town surrounded by green hills and bright rivers. I studied engineering because I love solving problems, and I came here to build a better future." But those sentences lived inside his mind, trapped in another language. So we sat together. I asked him simple questions, one by one. "What do you enjoy?" He answered softly, "Music." "What kind of music?" His face lit up. "Guitar. I play guitar." And in that moment, something shifted. His story began to breathe. The words "I play guitar" may sound simple, but inside those 3 words lived a universe of identity. That is the beauty of language. It carries our passions, our struggles, our truth. Now pause with me here. Imagine you are Daniel, sitting in that cafe, with the smell of coffee and the sound of quiet music in the background. Someone looks at you kindly and says, "Tell me about yourself." What would you say? Would your words rise freely, or would they remain hidden inside? This is where our story truly begins, because Daniel's journey from silence to expression holds a lesson for all of us who dream of speaking with confidence. And his next moment, the turning point, was something I'll never forget. Daniel took a slow breath. The cafe around him seemed to fade, as though the yellow walls and the gentle clinking of cups had stepped aside to give him space. His eyes lifted, searching for courage, and then he tried again. "My name is Daniel. I am from Brazil. I play guitar." The words were broken, imperfect, but they were alive. I smiled and leaned closer. "That's wonderful. Can you tell me more? When did you start playing guitar?" He hesitated. The sentence in his mind was long and complicated. In Portuguese it was smooth. In English it was a mountain. But instead of staying silent, he chose the smaller hill. He whispered, "I start when child." Not perfect, but powerful. Because here's something I want you to remember. Language is not about perfection. It's about connection. Even if your sentences are simple, even if your grammar is not exact, what matters is the spark of truth behind your words. People don't connect with grammar. They connect with your story. As Daniel continued, his voice grew steadier. He added another phrase, "I like music because happy," and even though it was incomplete, the meaning shone brightly. The word happy carried warmth, energy, life. This is the magic of vocabulary in context. Words like child, happy, music, guitar, they are not just words on a page. They are doors to your experiences. So let me share something useful for you. When you talk about yourself in English, you can use a simple frame, who you are from. My name is where you are from. I am from. What you love, I like, or I enjoy. What you do, I work as, or I study. Each phrase is like a brick, and when you put them together, you build the house of your story. But remember, your house doesn't need to be a palace. It only needs to be strong enough to let someone step inside and see who you are. I looked at Daniel and said, "Tell me again. Use the words we practiced." He nodded, nervous but determined. This time, his voice was louder. "My name is Daniel. I am from Brazil. I play guitar. I like music. I study engineering." The sentences were simple, but the effect was powerful. He smiled for the first time, because he could feel it. His story had crossed the bridge. And here is a lesson for you. Every time you introduce yourself, you are building a bridge. One side is you, the other side is the world. The words are your steps across. Later, Daniel told me why it mattered so much. Back home, he had always been confident. He was the one who helped his neighbors fix their radios, who played music at family gatherings, who dreamed of designing machines that could change lives. But here, in a new country, he felt invisible. "I want people to know me," he said quietly. "Not just my name. I want them to know who I am." Isn't that the heart of it? We don't learn English only to pass a test or memorize rules. We learn it to be known, to share our laughter, our ideas, our hopes. And so in that small cafe, Daniel began again, this time with more light in his voice. "Hello, my name is Daniel. I come from Brazil. I play the guitar. I love music because it makes me feel happy. I study engineering. My dream is to build something important." He paused, waiting. And when the person across from him nodded with interest, when they said, "That's amazing, Daniel. Tell me more," something inside him opened. That day he realized, speaking about yourself is not about being perfect, it's about being brave. Now imagine yourself in Daniel's place. Imagine sitting across from someone new. The question comes, tell me about yourself. What story will you tell? What words will you choose? Because your moment, your turning point, is waiting too. Weeks later, Daniel returned to the same cafe, but this time, he was different. He walked in with steady steps, carrying his guitar case in one hand. The same yellow walls welcomed him. The same scent of roasted coffee lingered in the air, but inside his chest, something new had awakened. He wasn't just a shy newcomer anymore. He was a man with a story, ready to share it. He ordered his drink, sat down at the corner table, and when a friendly stranger asked, "So, tell me about yourself," he smiled. And with calm, simple English he said, "My name is Daniel. I am from Brazil. I play guitar. I study engineering. I love solving problems. I want to build machines that help people. Music makes me feel alive, and I dream of traveling the world." The stranger listened, nodding, smiling. The words were not perfect, but they were true, and truth always shines brighter than perfection. That evening, Daniel opened his guitar case and began to play. His fingers danced across the strings, filling the cafe with sound, and people listened, not just to the music, but to the man behind the music, because now they knew him. This is the power of sharing your story. This is the gift of language. And you, my friend, have the same gift waiting within you. So let's pause and reflect. When you talk about yourself in English, remember these key ideas. Start simple. My name is I am from. I like. These sentences are enough to begin. Add details slowly. I enjoy reading books. I work as a teacher. I dream of visiting Paris. Each phrase adds color to your picture. Speak with heart. Even if grammar is not perfect, if your voice carries honesty, people will understand you. Words like name, dream, passion, music, challenge. These are not just vocabulary items. They are stepping stones on your journey. Here's a secret I want you to keep close. Every time you speak about yourself in English, you are not only practicing a language, you are practicing courage. You are telling the world, I exist, I have a story, and I matter. Think about that. Isn't it beautiful? Daniel's journey reminds us that bravery is not about standing tall without fear. Bravery is speaking, even when your voice trembles. Bravery is trying, even when the words come slowly. And every time you try, you grow stronger. Every sentence you build is like a brick in the foundation of your confidence. One day, Daniel told me something I will never forget. He said, "When I play music, people hear my heart. When I speak English, people see my life." Those words stayed with me because they are true for all of us. Your story matters. Your voice matters. Your English, no matter how simple, no matter how imperfect, carries the power to connect. So the next time someone asks you, "Tell me about yourself," take a deep breath, smile, and share one piece of your world. You don't need to tell everything at once. Just begin, because beginnings have power. My friend, your life is a story worth telling. And learning English is not about hiding mistakes. It's about revealing who you are, step by step, word by word. So let me leave you with this. Keep speaking, keep sharing, keep building that bridge between you and the world. You never know whose life will be touched by your story. And remember, persistence, not perfection, is what will carry you forward. Thank you for being here with me today. If this story inspired you, if it helped you learn, I invite you to subscribe for more cinematic lessons like this. Lessons where English is not just taught, but lived. Now tell me in the comments, where are you from? And what is one dream you have for your future? I'd love to hear your story, because your story deserves to be told. And maybe, just maybe, today is the day you begin to tell it.